So, as the House and Senate have both voted almost unanimously, only Clay Higgins withheld his name in the House vote. The Senate voted unanimously to release the Epstein files, and that has now been sent to the Mad Red Hatter's desk for him to sign it, which he has said that he would. I don't know if that means he will, although he could have just released them without going through all these motions with Congress, but I suppose it was a stall tactic. I'm wondering what happens when he starts pardoning the people in the Epstein files. Now, let's remember, there's only one name in the Epstein files mentioned more than Epstein himself, and that is Donald Trump. And they spent, I don't know how, they had hundreds of people working in the Justice Department to redact his name, to go through and find all the times. And after doing that, all of a sudden, Pam Bondi was not going to release the files anymore. Now, what files? Oh, it's a hoax. It's an awful lot of trouble to go through if there's nothing there, if there's no there. And I've always been of the mindset that, well, if his name's there, then it'll come out and it will be, and then we'll deal with that. Now I feel like it certainly, I mean, he's got to be guilty. Otherwise, we wouldn't be going through all this. So what happens next? I'm always curious to know what the Fox News crowd are going to hear about it, and I saw Megyn Kelly doing backflips over this situation, and Keith Olbermann played a clip of her talking about a similar situation with Russell Brand, where she was excoriating him because he'd had sex with a 16-year-old or a 17-year-old, and that is statutory rape in the state of California, and she just had no patience for that. That was the worst thing you could possibly do. But now when it's Trump, and she's saying, well, let's talk about what it means, statutory rape. We're not talking about eight-year-olds or 4-year-olds. We're talking about 14 and 15-year-olds. And, you know, they can look older. It's still statutory rape. Even if it was consent, there's no such thing as consent when you're 15 and 16 years old. In the state of Texas, it's 17 years old. I don't know what it is in Florida, but I suspect it's 17 or 18 years old. And these children were younger than that. So the backflips are really interesting, and I wonder if they resonate. Meanwhile, remember, the cruelty is the point. And so Brooke Rollins is the agricultural secretary in Trump's cabinet, and she is saying that the SNAP recipients now, instead of SNAP just resuming, they're going to have to reapply. You're going to have to reapply for SNAP under the guise of fraud. Okay, they keep saying fraud, kind of like voter fraud, and there's like one person in the last 5 years tried to vote illegally. It's not a thing. And you know what? If somebody is so desperately poor that they find some way to fraudulently get SNAP, it's not a lot of money, then okay, maybe they're just desperate enough to need it. I'm okay with that. SNAP is less, it's just at 1% of the federal budget. Whatever it takes to feed poor people, can we please just feed them without making them go through a bunch more hoops? But this is the Heritage Foundation. They do not want government to function in a way that helps the people in any way at all, unless they're billionaires. And the other thing in that same theme is the Department of Education. We had an announcement, I think last night, that they're going to continue the process of dismantling the Department of Education, which funds all kinds of things, but the particular part that they're targeting is the part that helps poor kids and kids with special needs. Again, the cruelty is the point. And I got to tell you, I spent a lot of years in my education career working with special needs kids. They are amazing kids. They benefit from being in schools as much or more than other kids, and they benefit the other kids as well. It's a magical thing that happens when they're working with each other. It's fantastic. It's the reason I got into public education after I'd been a journalist for many years. I really believe in special education. The fact that you want to gut this, you want to gut funding for poor kids and kids with special needs, there is a special place in hell for these Heritage Foundation bastards, starting with their president and all the way down. They can all go. They can all burn, as far as I'm concerned. My name is Bill. I'm a college professor in Dallas, Texas. Hey, remember, we got to stick together. This is not about Republicans versus Democrats. It's all of us against the small number of people that consider themselves MAGA and the Heritage Foundation goons who are running our country right now. We've got to stand up to it, and let's do it every day. Thanks for watching.